Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Video Selling Live. Last one of the year, Brian.
Sad.
It's going to be a good one. Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is Video Selling Live, a show by SenseSpark, where every episode we go deep on video. And this is always done to help you at home. So if you are at home watching this, if you are interested in sales or customer success on video, this is the show for you. Maybe you're a SenseSpark user. Maybe you use a different program. Maybe this is your first time getting into video. Maybe you've got just a phone and you haven't even started making videos yet. Don't worry. We've got you covered. So, little background on SenseSpark. It is the #1 B2B video platform for sales. So, if you are not familiar, or if you don't have a video program that you've been using, take out your phone and scan this QR code right now. You can try SenseSpark for free. That's right. Just get your camera out. You got to flip it to camera mode. Got to line it up with the QR code. And then it'll take you right there in your browser. So this is a great time. Hop on, get SenseSpark for free. This is a great time to prospect with video because nobody else is doing it. And Brian and I have some exciting, simple things you can do with video for the end of the episode. But before we get into that, let's introduce ourselves here. So to start off with, I'm your host, Chris Bogue. I am a coach and comedian and entrepreneur. I am the creator of The Complete Guide to Selling on Video, an in-depth course on how to create high-performing videos for every stage of your sales pipeline. So you can follow me on LinkedIn. I'm a content creator. I do lots of crazy stuff out here. You can ring my bell to follow me for updates. You can go to chrisbogue.io or scan the QR code on your screen if you want to pick up my course, The Complete Guide to Selling on Video. And with me today is my co-host, Brian Montoya. Hello.
Hi, everyone. Again, I'm Brian Montoya, the head of video content here at SenseSpark, and Reese's Peanut Butter Christmas Tree fanatic. I don't care that they don't look like the tree. They're delicious. Thanks for having me on, Chris.
They're the best ones. Real quick, Brian, I'm only hearing you out of one earphone right here, so I don't know if something happened with your sound.
Really?
Yeah, but no worries about that. While Brian is getting his microphone fixed, I'm going to throw it over to you, audience. So it is the end of the year. Brian and I have been immersed deep into best practices for video sales all this year. And we're going to be showing you the big trends that we see are going to become super important in 2024. So we're going to jump into that in just a moment. But before we do, tell us a little bit about you. So if you are watching this live, whether that is on LinkedIn or YouTube or anywhere you are watching this, go ahead and leave us a comment. Let us know where you're commenting from today. We do not know you're here if you do not leave a comment. And we want to know, what do you think are going to be the big trends in 2024? We want to hear what you think is going to change about video for sales.
Let's hear it.
And Brian, without further ado, why don't we get started with lesson time? Only if you say it's okay, though.
Oh, let's get started. I'm sorry.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. Hey, everybody. And I just realized, I think the problem might be with my headphones. So don't worry about your microphone. But hey, everybody. Okay. Lesson time. And today's lesson time, we've already told you about. We are going to be talking about 2024 predictions for video and sales. Brian, are you big on predicting the future? Is this something you do often, or are we taking you into uncharted territory here?
It's not necessarily uncharted. I kind of want to let everyone know I'm going to take the cloak off. I have an alternative account on LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. It's called Sastradamus. So am I a fan of looking into the future? Sometimes, mostly in jest, but here we're talking truth. So yeah, I am a little bit of a fan. How about yourself, Chris?
Yeah, well, normally I'm not, but I hate future predictions for the same reason I love them, right? There's no consequence to being wrong. Nobody ever goes through the old post from last year and was like, you know who made an incorrect prediction about B2B sales? That guy. No. So I've got
I think
some
we're covered in that sense.
yeah, no, go
Okay,
nuts.
great.
Make the craziest predictions you want today because there's literally no downside to that. And hey, I see we've got Lauren commenting from Austin, Texas. We've got Jared joining us here. Everybody, join us in. Let's get ready for our first prediction of the year. So, is it any surprise to you, Brian, that people are predicting that generative AI is going to play an even bigger role in sales next year? So I got to throw this one to you. Do you think this is accurate? Do you think this is overhyped? Where is your mind at?
I think it's going to play. I don't think it's going to play as big a role as people think. I feel that a lot of folks, the data has shown that a lot of folks are thrown off by just things that don't look authentic. Like if it's clearly made by an AI, people tend to not click into those videos. So as far as generative AI in the video landscape, if you're trying to use a program that maybe comes up with an SDR that doesn't really exist and makes a video for someone, sending it out to someone, I don't think it's going to make as big an impact as people think. What do you think?
Yeah, AI has been around in various forms my entire career. I have sold AI based solutions years before anybody was talking about ChatGPT. So someone said on my profile that they feel this is somehow both overhyped and underhyped, and I see
Yeah.
it. I think I think AI is unavoidable, and we've actually got some really useful AI tools that got built into SenseSpark this year. Um, but like the AI is also limited by the limitations of the human and the limitations of the company. So why am I not worried about being replaced by AI in video prospecting? Well, because in order to like make an AI generated prospecting video that works, you need to make an initial prospecting video that works. And that's just not something B2B has gone about figuring out yet. So like
Yeah.
even if you can clone yourself, if you clone a version of yourself that is uncomfortable or that is asking unhelpful questions or there's a million things that can go wrong in a video. An AI isn't necessarily going to fix that. So it has
Yeah.
some problems that it is fixing, but
It's kind of for the same reasons when you the overuse of AI in email, right?
yeah,
So you got to get the email done on your own accord initially the right way instead of just trying to scale with AI something that's not that great, right?
yeah, and I would say that anything, whether it be a prospecting video, whether it be paid advertisements on social, or even like email copy and templates for like cold email, it's always best to start with something that worked on the individual level and then automate it out. If you discover that you have a piece of informational content or educational content that's super useful for your brand, paying to turn it into an advertisement is a good idea.
Yeah.
And if you have discovered a script, a flow, maybe a walkthrough that you have or on-screen visuals or something, and you've been able to turn that into booked meetings that are actually productive for your pipeline. Automating that and getting yourself out to a few hundred extra people.
Yeah. Maybe the beginning part of it for an introduction, right? And then that the middle part that you're talking about that you've already got down, you might want to
Yeah,
use dynamic AI there for
yeah,
something like that instead of generative AI.
yeah. Well, let's talk about that too, because that's the next one, curiously, that we have here on our list, right? I believe. Yeah, dynamic features. So, tell us a little bit. So, Brian, tell us a little bit. You were the one who brought up the word dynamic. What if the audience is
What
unfamiliar?
do
What
I
do you
mean
mean
by
by
that?
dynamic features? Yeah.
So, like you were saying, let's say you put together a really nice video where you've got everything down, you're talking to an audience that's all having the same problem. You won't. The problem out there today when you're making video is that you have to keep repeating yourself and making that same video. If I want to make it to Chris and 9 other people, I need to make that video 10 times. It'd be great if that middle of the video, you could just record it once and then dynamically with AI be able to replace the introduction. So, hi, Chris. Hi, Brian. Hi, Bethany. Hi, Mark. Hi, Saad. Right. So that would be the thing that changes in every single video. So that's how I think of dynamic features, where it's just one piece of it that's being personalized. A lot of times you can think of, I know, Chris, we've talked about dynamic backgrounds that we have at SenseSpark, where you put one email together and the backgrounds are going to change specific to the person you're sending it for. So Chris, let's say, works at Salesforce and Bethany works at HubSpot, right? So that same email is dynamically being changed with AI. The backgrounds are being changed specific to those two people. So that's what I mean about dynamic. It's not the entire email. It's not the entire video that's being changed up, because I don't think the technology's there, and I don't think people are there to accept that technology, Chris. That's what I mean.
Well, I think it's a wise decision that if anybody at home is trying to figure out where AI is going to benefit them the most, anytime you have a problem where you're reaching out to a large number of people, and between each of them, you have to go do some research onto like a specific part of their journey, someone out there is working to automate that right now. And it's not just in video. I have like clients, especially if you're like in email marketing, or like web design, or like, it's very helpful to be able to quickly change variables, like from an automated standpoint without having to do extra thinking. So being able to, like, I could see being able to plug in a different call to action based on certain variables. Like we've been talking with SenseSpark and some of the video programs, like they're changing the intro. They're changing the intro to more personalized, like they're using a little bit of AI magic to say a different person's name. But like different call to actions are very important. And if you're the type of person who's experimenting with copy, like it's very important you test out different calls to actions and go with the one that is most successful, So that's another thing where it's like, if you've got a bunch of videos you're sending out, you A/B test a bunch of calls to actions, you find out call to action B is twice as effective. It would be nice to just be able to
double
press
down,
a button, and
it,
now they've all got the call to action that's actually going to get the other person to take some sort of action on the other end.
Those are exciting, but those are almost, Chris, those are like the non-exciting things, really. To me, it's exciting because I know it will help, but it's not sexy, right? I think, when you talk about AI, it's not so much about the dynamic features. Like the big headlight stuff is the generative AI that's going to change the landscape. But I think the landscape and the battle is all going to be won here in dynamic landscape, in dynamic feature world for AI moving forward. That's what I'm thinking.
Here, I'm going to throw one more thing in here. I do not have a slide for this, but I know one thing that my network has been talking about. Have you heard anything about this new Gartner report for 2024?
I mean, they have lots of them, but not
so there's one I see people are, because they've got some pretty pessimistic predictions about AI. They are predicting that AI is going to erode trust and credibility. We're going to be seeing much more AI generated content, which they predict is just going to lead to people getting better at tuning it out. And
it's like email. I keep digging back into that, Chris. It's going to be the same thing that happened when we automated all the email and got better at sending emails. We're just going to tune it out. Like, can you see that being any different?
Yeah, well, I've noticed this past year too. My inbox looks like an extension of my newsfeed. Like everybody has learned this knowledge of like, oh, the best cold email is one you would pay for, right? So they're all trying to get into my inbox with these nuggets about how to improve your X and Y and Z. And it just looks like the LinkedIn posts that I ignore have made its way into my inbox. And like, I've got friends who, I love you guys, we're friends on LinkedIn or whatever, but like, I don't want you in my inbox anymore because you send me,
Yeah.
13 emails a month, and like they're
It's
just
gonna
here.
make its way to generative AI, and that's the thing. And we're gonna dislike our colleagues even further. It's gonna
Well,
happen.
and again,
That's a prediction.
yeah. Well, I think predicting that we're gonna dislike our colleagues, but that's usually a safe prediction to make each year. But to this I say, like, and this is kind of where like my experience as a coach and a consultant and like a trainer comes in, is like a lot of my training is about how to do the unexpected thing, how to do the thing they don't expect you to do. And yeah, I do think once people are used to seeing the same kind of scripts, the same kind of personalization over and over and over again, the game as a seller or a marketer or a founder or whatever is like, how can you use the audience's expectations against them? How can you stand out from the pattern and get noticed when there's 10 times as many people all using the same pattern?
Do we knock on their door like back in the day?
I mean, you can't, but you can get, like, especially with video, it's like it doesn't take that much to be creative, And again, it's like what I think is amazing. We're SenseSpark nerds because we work for SenseSpark here. But I am still astounded by how few companies have really experimented with this. I know you had Melissa Gaglione on your show recently, power SenseSpark user.
Yeah.
She makes her SenseSpark videos like a news package.
Yeah, she does.
She literally makes it like breaking news. I've just discovered this story about your company. Here's my reporting. And that's how she
want to know
closes
why
deals.
she's really good at that? Because she was a former
She's a
reporter.
reporter,
But
right?
she's got a framework on it. Just literally, it's on the episode, and maybe we'll tag it in here for everyone that either watched or didn't catch the episode. But there's everything's a framework, like you said, where she lays it out. Just kind of like attention grabbing headline is the thing you say at the beginning. It's like, saw that your traffic is down or something, just to get the attention really quickly. And she goes through it. These things are under a minute and does a really good job. So
yeah, and here's the thing. She never would have started doing that if she was just going on LinkedIn looking for what everybody else was doing. That was her own personal style. She had learned those skills in a different walk of life and she applied them to video. And because nobody else in video is doing that, she gets noticed. I teach this very start in the middle of the scene kind of interactive scene kind of style that I learned from my years as an improviser when I learned how to get up on stage and make a show out of anything with anybody. That's a big part of the way that I train teams because I've never seen anyone on LinkedIn do that. So as always, I'm like, hey, there's all these opportunities here for awesome things you can do with AI, even within SenseSpark. We've got voice cloning, we've got dynamic features, we've got all these tools in there. That doesn't mean it's magic. You still got to go out there, you still got to use your brain, you still got to be creative, and that's ultimately what's going to set the winners apart from the losers. So it's big help, but not a silver bullet, right? Let's keep going. We've got a couple more here that I want to go through today. So here's another big one that I want your opinion on. I'm seeing a lot of, especially on LinkedIn, chatters about communities and networks. So the theory goes that with inboxes and so cluttered with spam, with social media, so unreliable algorithms and everything always changing. Where the real conversations are going to happen is communities, right? So Slack communities, WhatsApp groups, Facebook groups, these little Zoom meetings, these little independent communities coming up. These are the places where the real conversations are going to happen and where the real deals get made, where the real introductions get made. What do you think of communities and networks and the role they will play in 2024?
I think the role of communities will continue to play a part, maybe not as big as everyone's thinking. I just think when every single company wants to make a B2B Slack community, it's way too much. It's just the race when everyone gets there, you're looking at 50 different Slack communities. It's like, where do you spend your time? It's the same thing when you get a newsletter. At this point, everyone's got a newsletter. So it's like, where do you spend your time? So I think communities, in a sense, they've reached their saturation point. I don't think they can get they're. That's what I think about communities. Where I think the trending up. So communities probably trending down, if not staying kind of similar. Trending up, I think, would be more on the networking side. So more about reaching people on X, reaching people on LinkedIn, in the comments, right? So those type of trends, speaking to people on social media, whether you send them a video in their LinkedIn or send them a video on X, reaching out to them, maybe just commenting on there. I think that is going to continue to trend up. Whereas I think communities probably going to stay stagnant or trend down. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think communities are good for the people who already have giant followings. Like, I think if you already have a giant following, the notion of a community is pretty sweet. It's like, oh, I've already got this group of logos that I'm connected to. Like, might as well make money off of it, you know? I think community is not the silver bullet that it is sometimes portrayed as in a couple ways. You know, one, if anybody's ever run a community, it's hard.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work. Especially like I know people who are doing Patreon communities and they've got like extra gold paid tier subscribers for their content, and they have to make this whole other set of benefits that just goes to their like top subscribers. It's really like a full-time job to create a vibrant community that people want to be a part of.
Yeah, it's
And then
$100,000 job at Apollo, if not more. At least that. These are high-paying jobs at most of these companies.
yeah,
So people are investing in it big time.
yeah, and again, it's like I feel like it's really good for the people at the top. I really feel
Yeah.
like I don't know if you're at the bottom, what does it really get you? You know, I think free knowledge is nice.
Joining or building one, Chris? I'm sorry. Joining community
Joining one,
or joining? Like, how does it help you if you're at the bottom? You're sort of saying, like, it doesn't
yeah. I
really.
don't really know what. Yeah, again, I'm not really sure what if I was somebody who didn't have a following at all, like what being a part of these communities might get me. Whereas like for me, just starting my own thing was so huge for me, you know, and like I built up a network and like I have a community. I've got companies that I work with, including SenseSpark, including other companies that I've worked with and consulted with and advised. We have a good reputation and we have trust, and that opens doors for me. But it was because I already came in bringing
Yeah.
them something.
Yeah.
You know, I was already coming in. I was kind of making my own rain. I was getting conversations started about topics that were good for them already. I think that's really what made me valuable as a member of a community. And like,
So
I would not,
relevance again. Relevance. The king.
yeah, just signing up for a community is not going to necessarily help you make a name for yourself, you know. And well, let's go here. We've just got one more on the list. I feel like it's kind of related here. So influencers, everyone's favorite.
Everyone loves.
I don't know. They work though, right? If influencers didn't, if weren't an effective strategy, we wouldn't see them all the time on TikTok and YouTube and everywhere, right?
Yeah, I mean, just seeing them come into. I guess I could fall into that category, even though like I'm a house cat. Like I work for one company, right? But I don't like the term. But does it do the job in a sense these days? Absolutely. I think it took forever for them to come across in this type of scale where you see them everywhere in B2B, right? It just didn't exist. So it's kind of fun being on the influencer side doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Time will tell, Chris, if it's really an effective strategy, because right now you're only just seeing it for smaller companies that are trying to break through the noise a bit. So if you want to break through the noise initially, I think it's a great strategy. I personally have been on this journey not very long. I've done it in the same way as a startup. I haven't IPO'd myself,
Yeah.
So I don't know where it's going to lead, Chris. But, if you want to break through the noise when you're first starting up, I think it's it's an excellent strategy for B2B.
But it's not just small companies trying to break through. You see big companies. I mean, like look at Clary. Clary's a huge company. Devin Reed, he's an influencer for different companies
Have they
now.
IPO'd? I know it was kind of I had them in mind as well. So maybe
yeah. So I mean, it's just like
Clary.
I don't know. Everybody likes to think they are better than influencers on LinkedIn, but my thing is like, whatever, just embrace the term. Like, if you're here to influence people, then I guess you're an influencer, and it's like, it's hard to stay the center of attention for a long time on LinkedIn. This past year, a lot of people got sick of doing it. So yeah, if you are somebody that people respect and you have a following and you have an audience, I think B2B companies are going to take advantage of that in the coming year. So I actually do see that one.
Absolutely.
It's going to continue to play a big role.
Chris, I think people will also just become a lot more creative with it. Right now, it's sort of like it's a race right now to get the highest or the ones that you see the most that have decent influence, that have good numbers. It's a race to get them under any circumstances. But I think what's going to change in 2024, I saw Obad Durrani talking about this, is there's going to be more, people are going to take it more as a strategy, right? Because a lot of these influencers are also just salespeople or marketers that are being hired. They're not their own entity. They're not operators, right? So I think there's going to be more of the influencers themselves are going to mature, and companies that employ them are also going to mature. And it's going to become a better strategy. And I think that's going to give us better content overall. It's not going to seem like someone is just clearly just a sponsor for it, right?
I don't know, man. If all the B2B companies want to pay Snoop Dogg to be their video prospecting coach, I think I'm screwed. But this has been a fascinating topic. Why don't we finish it out with our final sales challenge of the year?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. So if you're back watching this at home, maybe you've given up on the year. Maybe you missed your quota. Maybe you think that you don't have a chance anymore. You might be right, but only if you give up. So my challenge to you, our challenge to you this week, go nurture your pipeline. Go nurture your friends. Get on video. If you have lights and a hat, if you want to dress up for the holidays, you can. Not everybody celebrates the holidays, everybody celebrates New Year, though. There is a New Year coming up. So if you've got stuff in the pipeline that has not closed yet, if you've got big accounts that you're going to be going after in Q1, send them a friendly holiday greeting on video and ask them for nothing. It's my challenge to you here in the last sales challenge of the year. Brian, you going to do any nurturing this holiday season?
I actually love to nurture during the holiday season. This is a big reason why I wanted to be on this show this week. I like figuring out what people like to eat, and you can do that on LinkedIn a lot or on X. You can see. And I like making recipes and then sending clipped up videos of a recipe to someone with the recipe. It's a holiday nurturing recipe video. So it's a video of me making it along with the recipe that's tagged, and I ask for nothing in return. That's what I do.
That's such a good idea. Although I will say it is hard to film cooking-based content.
It is. That's why it's not so much about the actual cooking part. It's about the intro. I want to make this, and then the final pick the video, and then just here's the recipe. So it's not really me showing you how to cook it.
Okay, yeah, because that's one thing I know.
It's some people
who do video-based food content, and like
the lighting alone, Chris.
Yeah, the lighting, the sound. They usually got the microphone right there.
Yeah,
with it. Yeah, it's like that food content you see on the Food Network. There's a reason why you see hundreds of people.
Yes,
the credits roll. It's not as easy as you'd think. And fortunately, it doesn't have to be, right? Get in there, get on video. Thank your friends. If you had a great account that closed this year, send them a thank you, send them cards. At the very least, you can get on video. Say how much they meant to you this year.
A heartfelt thank you. It comes across.
And then you call them in January and you go for the referrals.
And then you ask them for
money. Those sweet referrals, baby. All right. Well, that's all we got today, Brian. Do you have anything else you want to say here to end out our last episode of the year?
SendSpark. Get it today for free. It's the #1 video platform for B2B sales. Chris, thank you so much for having me on. And thanks so much to our audience for taking and letting us be here for, I think it's almost 6 months that we've been doing Video Selling Live. So thank you so much. Love the opportunity.
Everybody, it's your last note here for the end of the year. Go on, get SendSpark for free. Scan the QR code is the easiest way to sell on video. Especially right now, nobody is sending out videos at the end of the year. I guarantee you your prospects are still working. What else are they going to be doing? And we'll close this out with my favorite thing, which is an advertisement for my course, The Complete Guide to Selling on Video, which is also a SendSpark product, goes deep into SendSpark theory. So we're going to watch that. Happy holidays, everybody. See you in the new year.
Hello?
Is this Mr. Sherber?
It sure is. What can I help you with, brother?
Hello. You were not expecting this call. Do you have 17 seconds to learn
Hang on a
about
second.
mercifully short...
Is this a cold call?
I don't know.
You. Never call this number again.
Oh no! Another unsuccessful cold call. You probably don't have time to fuck off.
I got a quota to hit.
Are you spending hours every week cold calling and cold emailing but not seeing results?
There's gotta be a better way.
Introducing the Complete Guide to Selling on Video. Whether you're new to sales or a President's Club member, this fast and fun course will teach you to efficiently create short, customized videos that get results. The Complete Guide to Selling on Video is not sold in stores. Visit chrisbogue.com